So if this is your first time, I'm Kyle, and I'm one half of the Wandering Shores. So if you're here to check out free and affordable camping in Gunnison, Colorado, you've come to the right spot. What do you think of that campsite over there? So we are actually on Soap Creek Dispersed Camping area outside of Gunnison, Colorado, between Montrose and Gunnison, right on the Blue Mesa Reservoir. And that's our home for the next 14 days, folks. I'm also going to show you all of the other sites that are out here. There are not a lot of sites, so be advised. And as you'll see on the drive in, no Class A's, no Class C's. You know, you enter at your own risk if you're going to opt to go with that route. This is really for smaller travel trailers, or definitely for truck campers and car campers. There's a lot of options that are not open to bigger rigs, unfortunately. But we're also, stick with us, at the end of the video we're going to take you in and show you a Google overview and talk about all the resources available in the area.
Take the next right onto Blue Mesa Drive.
So here we are arriving at Soap Creek Road Dispersed off State Route 92, just south of 50. We're going to make a sharp right-hand turn onto this fairly decent gravel road.
Continue on Blue Mesa Drive for 3 miles.
You're going to go back about 8 miles to the boondocking spots. Part of the drive you're actually going to go through private property, so keep an eye on those signs, because obviously you cannot camp on a large section of this, along a large section of this road. About 3 miles of it goes through private property. But this road is in fairly good condition, but the further you go back, the narrower it becomes, as well as the bumpier it becomes. If you enjoy free camping and boondocking across the United States, well, we've got a lot more for you. If you haven't already checked out thewandringshores.com, and we have an interactive Google map there where you can see all of the spots we've done campsite reviews of, as well as things to do in the area. So as you can see with this road, you can get pretty much a rig of any size down here. That is not the limiting factor. The limiting factor really becomes the boondocking spots that are out here are very few, as well as somewhat difficult to get into, and we're going to show you that as we get a little bit further along in this video. But there is the Blue Mesa Reservoir. We are about 30 miles west of Gunnison and about 30 miles east of Montrose, Colorado. Okay, about
Take the next right onto
2
County
miles
Road
up, you're going to
721.
come to kind of a sharp right-hand turn. Really fairly easy to navigate as long as there's not somebody coming the other way.
Continue on County Road 721 for 5 miles.
I don't know if you can tell by the camera, but there are some fairly significant climbs along the way. Nothing that most RVs cannot handle, but if this road is wet, you know, it might be a little slippery, so it would be better to have four-wheel drive if you have it. So right here you'll see a sign, we're entering private land. Stay on the road only for the next 2.5 miles. We just crossed over into the National Forest area, and probably no more than 100 feet past the cow grate, marking the delineation between public and private land, is kind of the first easy access boondocking spot. You'll see it right here by the sign about stamping out your fires. There's also a road that goes up to the left, though. It looks super rough. I'll actually take you inside when we do the overview of the area on Google Maps and kind of show you there. If you've got like a truck camper with some serious clearance and four-wheel drive, you can get up there. That's the problem with several of these spots back here, folks, is they're really unreachable by anything other than a 4x4 of some sort. This is not a boondocking spot that you're going to want to bring a Class A to, or even mostly Class C's, because you're going to have a real hard time getting into any of the few spots that are here. But I'm going to show them to you, and then you can make your own decisions. So we're gonna call that first site that I showed you right by the big sign about covering the covering your campfire by dirt and putting it out. We'll call that number 1. So that would be this spot number 2. I'm going to put all the GPS coordinates for each of these spots in the video description below. So if you want to know exactly what they are, please check there. But this is spot number 2. You can see back there, there's somebody in a car camper. But now one thing to be advised about this area is you can see over here, it's quite a wet little marsh, so you're probably during the heat of the summer going to be dealing with a lot of mosquitoes and flies, so just be advised of that. So that's site number 2. I'm going to show you site number 3, or what I can show you from the road at least. Okay, again, this we'll call site number 3. You can see there is a very sharp rutted incline right over here to the left. I think there is somebody up there right now. They've put down orange cones, so we clearly are not going to drive up there, but I would not take a travel trailer up there, even if it was somebody else's. So that's site number 3. I'll take you when we, like I said, when we go inside, I'll show you on the Google overview of the map. I'll show you what that site appears to look like. All of these sites look like they're perfectly flat from above, but clearly that one is, you're going to need 4-wheel drive and high clearance and probably, you know, some really off-road tires. Site number 4 is going to be right here at the crux to this turn. This is the one that is marked on Campendium as the Soap Creek. You can see right down there, there's a little bit of rutted road right there, but it's really not that bad now that I'm looking at it. But that is site number 4 if you're looking, and again, video description for the GPS coordinates. I'm going to continue on, and the site that we chose is going to be site number 5. And you probably saw that in the intro, but I'm going to take you to it now. All right, as you saw in the intro, I'll take you now to our spot, which we'll call spot number 5, and really is the final spot along Soap Creek. But there are a few other locations you could camp, and I'll show you that in the Google overview as well. But here is the issue with site number 5. As you can see, we're coming in from the main road here on Soap Creek. We're about 8 miles back. Now, I don't know if it's going to show, but this is a very sharp right turn with a dip. Both my friend Sean and I drug our bottoms a little bit. I hit my weight distribution bars and he hit his bumper coming around this corner. So that is one of the limiting factors. Then once you get around the corner, you can now see that this road, and again, it could be certain times of the year it's fine, but it is extremely rutted. And so you're going to have to be very careful and go very slow if you're going to decide to get back to this boondocking spot. There are some clearance issues here with these trees, but we were both able to veer over to the left away from this one and not hit. And then as we came across, we went over to the right side and were able to avoid the tree here on the left as well. So what do you think of that spot there, folks? Beautiful campsite overlooking the canyon. All right, now I'm going to take you inside. I'm also going to take you further on down the road in the video and show you what's down there. There is another campground. There's a campground called Soap Creek Campground, which is a National Forest campground. Again, tight turns, issues with clearance on tree branches, etc. So be advised. And then there's also a horse camping area down there that have some spots that you could also boondock at. But again, smaller vehicles only. But let me show you on the overhead. Don't leave just yet. See, we are now in taking a look at the Google Maps. So here we have this entire state of Colorado. There is Gunnison right there. So I'm going to kind of narrow this in. You can see the Grand Mesa Compadre and Gunnison National Forest, which is where we're going to be heading. Over here is the Black Canyon of Gunnison. There's Montrose. So the boondocking spots here at Soap Creek are going to be right north of Blue Mesa Reservoir / the Gunnison River. So I've put a little couple points on here. Most people are going to be coming from Interstate 50, either from the east or from the west. We're going to show you first the boondocking sites as an overview, and then I'm going to talk about the resources available in the area. So when you're coming in off of 50, you're going to turn right onto 92, which is right here, and you're going to come down across the dam, which is right there. That's the Blue Mesa Dam, and you're going to turn onto this intersection right here, which is Blue Mesa Drive / Soap Creek. Now, you're going to take this road back. Let me switch over to satellite view. You can kind of see this road traversing along the side of the lake right here. Again, this is about 7 miles back to the first boondocking site, and you are going to be driving through some private property, so be cognizant of that. You're going to continue on as you come back this direction. And the first thing you're going to notice that you really pass in the public lands area is the Ponderosa campground. We'll get back to that because there may be some water available in that area. So as in the video, this is going to be boondock. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. Let me go back here a little bit. Where did it go? It is missing. Oh, there it is right here. So this area right here, let me put a little pin there. Sorry about that, folks. I thought I had saved it earlier. That is, in the video, what I referred to as boondocking spot number 1. It's right there behind that fire sign. Again, it's really more of a pull-off than anything. I don't think it's a long-term solution for most people. But as you continue back, then you pass Ponderosa Campground, and then you're going to come to the remaining campsites that I have shown you. This is campsite 2 right here. If you remember, it kind of goes back deep. This is that reservoir or that pond or swamp that's probably got a lot of bugs in it. So I'd be cognizant of that. You come back a little bit further. This is that big uphill that you couldn't really see the campsite. This is the campsite up at the top of the hill. Again, you're really going to need high clearance 4x4. I would not try to pull a travel trailer up there. This spot here is downright, this is spot number 4, just a little bit past the big climb. That's the one that's kind of tucked down in the trees. There is a little bit of a ditch right there that you might have trouble getting into, so be aware of that. And then in the video, this is our spot right here. Now remember, you're all going to be coming in on Soap Creek, so making this turn right here can be a challenge. That is a pretty steep incline / decline, I guess, if you're coming into this, along with some rutted washboard or rutted area right there because of dampness. What I would suggest is if you're coming in with a rig of any size, don't try to make that turn. I would go down here a little bit further, and you're going to come to this intersection, which is right here. This little side road has got a gate on it. You can't go up that way, so you're going to have to veer down towards Soap Creek Campground. Right here, you can do a 3-point turn, maybe go down that, back up, and then come back. That way you're driving into campsite 5. It's going to make your life a lot easier than making that turn. But if you're in a truck camper or a car camper or a tent, you're not going to have any problems making that turn. But if you're hauling some type of travel trailer, and again, as we talked about in the video, I don't recommend any big travel trailers in this area, and definitely not any Class A's or C's because of clearance issues. This area down here is a horse camping area. You are able to get down there. There is this turn right there is a little difficult because of the trees, so you may want to go scout it first. And then over here is Soap Creek National Forest Campground. Now, what are the other resources available in the area near you? So this is going to be dependent upon the time of the year. Here at Ponderosa Campground, right next to the upper section here where the horse stable is, there is a water spigot right there. When we were here in May of 2025, that water spigot had not yet been turned on. So you might want to check and see with the National Forest Service if the water has been turned on at the campgrounds. There also appears to be water at Soap Creek Campground. There is a trailhead parking right here for the Cow Creek Trail, which runs out over here. But there does appear to be water spigot here and right over there. But again, the spigots are gone, but I think that potentially the Forest Service removes the spigots during the winter and then screws them back on. So those are going to be water resources that may be available while you're camping in the area, but I highly recommend that you just bring water in with you when you are heading in that direction. And let me show you where I recommend that to be from. There is another water here at Elk Campground, again, National Forest. It may or may not be turned on. But if you're coming in from Gunnison, the best place to get water is going to be right here at the city dump and septic system. Now, the way this works is this is a brand new facility, and it is, I believe, $18 to dump and $5.50 paid via credit card to get water up to 1,000 gallons. So every RV is going to be able to fill up for $5.50, but there is a dump there, and again, that's going to be linked in the video description. While you're in Gunnison, if you're looking for services, there are several good laundromats here. We got High Country, we've got One Stop right there. That's also a car wash. Those are the two highest rated ones in the area. There's a Safeway grocery right there. There's a City Market and a Walmart. It's been a while since I've been to that Walmart. We didn't go this time, but I don't think it's a super Walmart. So you're going to have to go next door to get primarily groceries. I think they'll have just dry goods and stuff. If you're looking for getting propane, there's a Tractor Supply Company in Gunnison. If you're looking to have stuff mailed, highly recommend Gunnison Shipping. These are honestly the nicest people in the world. Give them a call. They charge based upon the size of the package that comes in, but you can have it shipped directly to there. I had two, moderately sized boxes, and they charged me like $3 per box. So that is going to be a valuable resource. Now, if you are coming from over the mountain at Monarch Pass, over here at Poncha Springs at the Welcome Center, there is a dump and potable water. I think the dump is maybe $10 and the water might be included in that cost, or maybe it's free. I'm not 100% sure. We didn't stop there because we didn't want to haul the water over Monarch Pass. If you're coming from the west in Montrose, you've got Safeway, City Market, and Walmart. Again, all of these are going to be linked in the video description. There is a dump station if you're coming from up here near Grand Junction. Up at Fruta, they're at the Colorado Welcome Center. There is a free dump and free water. Very easy in and out. We were there, actually stopped there on our way leaving the area because we were heading up towards Utah. Now, as far as water resources in Montrose, I would check iOverlander. There are probably 30 water resources available in the area, and that's the best resource. But again, you can see you're right, easy access, maybe 40-minute drive to Black Canyon and the Gunnison. You can go up to Crested Butte where there's a lot of options. We've done boondocking sites up there, as well as over in Taylor Park, which is right over near this reservoir right here. We've done one of our most popular boondocking sites is over there. So hopefully this information is helpful. Again, be very cautious. Soap Creek Dispersed Camping. There are only a few options. Once you get headed back that road, the roads are narrow. Excuse me. You can also have issues with clearance if you have a lower clearance vehicle. So I just want to recommend that you check the spot out in advance if you can. And thanks again for your support. Hopefully you like these types of videos. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And don't forget to check out thewanderingshores.com, where we have a free interactive map that has every campsite review we've ever done, which is now well over 100. So thanks, and see you next week.